What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm D.Knight, and it's game time. Can't stop my hustle, no, you can't stop my shine. I ain't come to make no friends, I just came to get what's mine. Welcome, baseball fans, to MLB The Show 19. Today, we are going to be rebuilding the Baltimore Orioles.
For the Baltimore Orioles, the 2019 season can't start soon enough. The O's struggled from the get-go last year and never recovered. Now, they start the tall task of rebuilding in one of the deepest divisions in baseball. Still, this is a proud franchise that has won 3 World Series titles and is just 5 years removed from the ALCS. With a new GM, a new manager, and one of the youngest rosters in the majors, there will be plenty of opportunities for those youngsters to prove their worth as 2019 starts a new chapter in Orioles history.
Now, I have been one of those faithful Oriole fans for a very, very long time. It's my childhood team. I always watch them no matter how good, how bad they are. So, I want to make sure we do this right. So, settings-wise, before we get into it, this is a realistic rebuild. I'm not going to go out, trade for everybody, take over the trade market, do any of that stuff. We're actually going to be doing it correctly. For any of the trades that I do get, it has to go through if they're interested, so the trades that come through, or I have to put them on the trade block, and any of those teams that are interested, then I have to go to them and suggest trades, and then I cannot move it at all. We want to try to focus on doing that the best that we can because we want to make it very realistic. So before we jump into spring training, let's meet the team. Beginning with our starting rotation, we have Dylan Bundy, who's a 73 overall B potential. He was 8-16 last year with a 5.45 ERA. He was a high draft pick. Hopefully he's able to anchor this line and get better. At the number 2 spot, we have John Means, who's actually had a very fantastic year this year, but last year he had a 13.5 ERA, B potential as well. Gabriel Yanoa, who is a 72 overall, B potential. He had a 2.57 ERA in 2 games started in AA affiliate Bowie. We have Alex Cobb, who is the veteran of the group, but he has gotten hurt multiple times each year. Still have him for 4 years on his contract. He was 5-15 last year with a 4.9. We also have Ty Block scheduled in at the 5th spot, who was 6-7 with a 4.25 ERA with San Francisco last year. He is a B potential. He's 28 years old. The other guys that are fighting for those final rotation spots, we have Aaron Brooks, who did not give up a run in 2 2/3 with Oakland last year. Tom Eshelman, who was 2-13 with a 5.84 ERA in Lehigh Valley. David Hess, who was 3-10 last year with a 4.88. Asher Wojciechowski, who was 8-2, 3.61 ERA at Columbus. Hunter Harvey, who was a first-round pick. He is an A potential. He was 3-6 with a 5.00 ERA in Norfolk. And then also Ryan Edes, who was 4-3, 3.54 last year at Rochester. In the bullpen, we are relatively solid. Wouldn't say strong, but we have Michael Givens closing up for us. He had 9 saves, a 3.99 ERA, B potential. We have Richard Blyer as a lefty. He had a 1.93 ERA and a 3-0 record. We also have Tanner Scott, who had a 5.4 ERA, B potential. We had Paul Fry, who had 2 saves and a 3.35 ERA. We have Dylan Tate at the long position. He was 7-5 with a 3.25 ERA at Bowie. We have Miguel Castro, who was 2-7, 3.96 ERA. We also received Shawn Armstrong from Seattle. He had 1 save and a 1.23 ERA. And then the guys fighting over those final spots are going to be Tyler Scott, He was 3-2 with a 4.5 ERA at Tacoma. Chandler Shepard, 7-10 with a 3.89 at Pawtucket. Evan Phillips, who everybody's kind of waiting to turn around. He was 0-1, 13.11 ERA in limited action last year. And Brandon Klein, who was 5-4 with a 1.64 ERA in Bowie. Now to our lineup. Our catchers are going to consist of two of these three guys. We have Chance Sisco, who had a 1.81 batting average, 16 RBIs, or Pedro Severino, who hit 168 with 2 home runs with Washington, and then Austin Wynns, who hit 255 with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. At first base, we have Mark Trumbo, the veteran of our group. He hit 261, 17 home runs. And Chris Crush Davis, who had a terrible year last year. Hopefully he's able to turn it around. He just hit 168 with 16 home runs, 49 RBIs. At second base, we have Jonathan Villar. He hit 260 with 35 stolen bases. At third, we have Renato Nunez, who hit 258 with 22 RBIs. He is a P potential. He saw limited action last year, but really started hitting the ball. At shortstop, we have Hanser Alberto, who hit 192 with Texas last year in limited action. The guys vying for the backup infielder spots, we have Jace Peterson, who's hitting 200 with 13 stolen bases. Rio Ruiz, who was a potential prospect at one point with Atlanta. He hit just 189 last year with them. And Richie Martin, who ended up hitting 300 with 42 RBIs at Midland for the Oakland team. In the outfield, we have Trey Mancini in left. He hit 242, 24 home runs, 58 RBIs. He is a potential. He is going to be a piece of our future. Center fielder, Anthony Santander, who just hit 198 last year in limited action. Right field, we have Dwight Smith Jr., who actually played with the Blue Jays last year. He did hit 262 with 2 home runs, limited action as well. And vying for the backup spots behind them is going to be DJ Stewart, who hit 250 with 3 home runs. He is a B potential. Cedric Mullins, who hit 235 with 4 home runs. He has A potential. Austin Hayes, who hit 235 with 12 home runs in Bowie. He also has B potential. And Stevie Wilkerson, who hit 174 in limited action last year with the Orioles. With that being said, every rebuilding team needs a good farm system, and we have a good one. So let's highlight some prospects. We have Ryan Mountcastle, who was a first-round pick in 2015. He hit 297 with 13 home runs for Bowie last year. We have Grayson Rodriguez, who was picked in the first round of the 2018 draft. He had a 1.4 ERA and 8 games started for the Gulf Coast League Orioles. We also have Yusniel Diaz, who we received in a trade for Manny Machado from the Los Angeles Dodgers. He hit 285 and 11 home runs combined between Bowie and Tulsa in the Double-A. DL Hall, first round pick in 2017, had a 2.1 ERA and 20 games started for Delmarva. And then we also have Adley Rutschman, who we picked first overall in this year's draft, who hit 411, 17 home runs at Oregon State, and is a high A potential. The rosters we're using are the full minors trade deadline by Riding Rosters. I did update a couple of the waiver claims that came a little bit later. I did update the 40-mans, but overall, best rosters out there for MLB The Show 19. So let's jump into spring training. We're going to sim the first 5 here. And we have an injury right away. Chance Sisco out 2 to 3 months with a fractured forearm. Well, that hurts our catching department. But now we know Severino wins. We're going to put him on the 60-day IL. All right, let's get to our next 5 here. We're 2-3. It's not too bad. See what we get out of here. I just auto fix those. Alright, so we're 5-5. Not too shabby. We are going to change around the starters a little bit here. Give everybody an opportunity to pitch. So Aaron Brooks is going to get that one. Edace is going to follow it up at the end. So let's get our 5 in here. All right, we're 7-8, still hovering around 500. Not bad. Well, there comes a lot of losses. Okay. Let's switch up a little bit. Some more losses, 9-16. We're going to give Harvey and Eshelman the last 2 starts, see if they can't lower their ERA. There's a win and a loss. So let's check out the spring stats. Means with a 1.64, Bundy with a 5.9, Cobb with a 5.79, block pitch great, 1.29, Aaron Brooks, 2.45. He's probably going to make the rotation. On the bullpen side, Shepard with 3.44. Armstrong was excellent with 2.7. Fry with 3.86. Klein with a 4.0. Blyer was dominant, 0.93. Castro, 3.77. And Givens was dominant as well. Edes struggled. Tanner Scott really struggled. Yanoa struggled. Harvey struggled. Eshelman, 4.5. Not bad. Taylor Scott struggled. David Hess did really well, 2.25, so he could be the next starter. One of those other guys gets all beat up. Wojo, only 6 ERA. Dylan Tate, 5.4, so they're going to need some work in the minors. And Evan Phillips got destroyed. Highest ERA of spring training. So let's go see what our lineup looks like. VR, 264 and a dinger. Dwight Smith, 130. That's a struggle bus. Hopefully he gets out of that. Mancini, 265, 2 home runs. Trumbo, 247 with 3. Crush, 125 with a home run. Yikes. That's a huge contract. Nunez, 250 with 2 home runs. Severino, 105. That's yikes. Santander, 327. Beautiful. Alberto, 255, 2 home runs. So we got a couple of standouts over there. Lineup's not looking too bad. Wilkerson, 278 with a home run. He's going to make the team. Ray Ruiz, 243. Not bad, no home runs. Richie Martin hit 300 with 2 home runs. Okay. You're definitely going to be on the squad. Jace Peterson, skipped over him. He's 250 with a home run. DJ Stewart hit 200 with a home run. Austin Wynns hit 182. Our catchers are struggling. Cedric Mullins, 167 with 2 home runs. He's going to start in AAA. Austin Hayes, 218 with a home run. He's going to be starting down in the minors as well. All right, so let's make the cuts. So our rotation is going to be Means, Bundy, Cobb, Block, and Brooks. Our bullpen's going to be Shepard, Armstrong, Fry, Klein, Blyer, Castro, and Givens. As for our lineup, we're going to keep Villar, Dwight Smith, Mancini, Trumbo, Davis, Nunez, Severino, Santander, Alberto, Stevie Wilkerson, Ruiz, Martin, and Austin Wynns as the backup catcher. With that being said, let's sim over to the start of the regular season. and we're going to be teaching you guys how to scout properly. So before we head into opening day, I'm going to teach you guys how to do the proper scouting techniques. Now, most people do scouting auto. They make it very easy for themselves, but manual is the way to go. So we're going to teach you the way to do it. First, you got to hire the best scouts. We have some really weak scouts and all in the West, so we're not going to be getting a lot of prospects from anywhere else. So what we need to do is we need to hire the best East scout, which is Lee McCall. Then we need to hire the best Central scout, which is Damon Frost. Now for West, Jose Hurd. Let's get him on. Welcome to the squad. And for International, Thomas Giorgio. So now that you got your best scouts, what you need to do is, it's very tedious, but it needs to happen. Okay? So let's go back to scouting. Okay, so you want to go in to finding players. So we're going to select into them. Position, we're going to start with catcher, contact, and power for everybody. And then we're going to end up simming a day. Now we're going to do 1 day per. Now, because our opening day isn't until a little bit afterwards, we can do that. So let's go back over. Get into it. Let's sim 1 day. Now let's go back to scouting. And now we're going to change it to contact and speed for everybody. Okay, so everybody's done. So let's go to infield, contact and power. Contact speed. Okay, let's go ahead and sim another day. And going back to scouting. And now we are going to change it to power and speed for everybody. And what you're doing is you're really looking for the 80 potential guys. Okay, you already have your blue chip prospects, so you know they're going to be the best of the best, but you want to have other people to go after that are going to be 80 potential, those A's to high B's. And then after you do those 3, you're going to switch it to infield and start the whole process over again. Okay, my opinion is to never scout or never pick a pitcher unless it's a blue chip prospect and you're at the very end in the first round. You can always find really good pitchers in the later couple of rounds. You always kind of want to do position players because there's just not that many of them. So if you continue to do this over and over and over, again, very timely, very tedious, doesn't get you through as much, but you're going to have a wide range of people to pick from each round that are going to be fully scouted. If you just do auto, they're just going to give you about 80% on some, and then there's going to be some that aren't scouted, and then you have to take some real shots in the dark, which is just complete guess. But if you do it this way, you're constantly going to be getting really good players each and every round that you have. So I highly suggest this. It does take a little bit of time, but it really takes a couple of seconds each day to just go in and kind of do it. And then when you end up scouting people, you want to make sure that the accuracy is all the way up to the top. So I'll show you here, because I believe the West Scout is all done after this. So let's change these guys real quick. And yeah, he's all done. So we're going to pick our Let's change that real quick. And then we're going to pick our first 80 potential West guy, which is going to be Mario Ramirez here. And then we're going to start scouting him right away. I'll keep you guys kind of up to date with the scouting aspect of it with some guys, but I'm going to try to keep it off camera as much as possible because it is very time consuming. But this is the best way to build your team through the draft, and very easy if you're going to be doing a draft to glory type franchise, which if you guys want to see that, just let me know in the comments below. But we're going to wrap it up there. I'm going to make sure that I do the opening day series for you guys against the Yankees. Should be a little bit of a pain, but we'll see if we're able to come out with a couple of victories. But again, if you want to see anything, make sure you leave a comment for me, do the subscribe thing, and as always, stay frosty, and I'll see you in the next video.
They thought it was a game till I came back with that win overtime. I've been working, now I'm back at it again. Now we ain't finished what you thought that was the end, man. We been putting in work. You can clap your boy back in, cause it's game time and I'm ready. Game time and I'm ready. Yeah, it's game time and I'm ready. Game time and I'm ready. Can't stop my hustle, no, you can't stop my shine. I ain't come to make no friends, I just came to get what's